And as Ontario's cases climb today, our Cynthia Mulligan has been keeping an eye on what's contributing to that upward trend of Ontario's rolling average. Cynthia, what have you learned?
Well, Janella, the Chief Medical Officer of Health, says he's noticing a shift in those numbers. Community spread cases, meaning ones they can't trace, have been coming down. And workplace clusters have been going up in the past week. We've seen that with outbreaks amongst migrant farm workers, for example. And that's why targeted testing and tracking is critical as the province considers when and how to begin phase 2 of opening up the economy. Premier Ford was optimistic today because there was a record number of tests completed.
I think we had another 20,000 day, and everything's coming together now. And I can see it. You know, we have a new testing strategy, we have a new tracing and tracking strategy, and things are going well. And it's all due to the fact that the 14.5 million people, everyone's pulling in the same direction.
Certainly, there are signs the province will start opening up more and more. Today, the government announced short-term rentals, including cottages, cabins, condos, and B&Bs, can resume as of tomorrow. But the economic cost of the shutdown is becoming more stark. Lisa MacLeod, the Minister for Tourism, says it could take 5 years for the sector, which includes restaurants, to recover.
The tourism industry in Ontario represented $36 billion in economic activity, and they're expecting that to drop at least $20 billion this year. Of the 400,000 jobs lost in the month of March, we estimate 350,000 of them came from this sector. So these industries and these sectors will need a lot of support, whether that's financial or whether that is through regulatory changes and even marketing programs. That is something that we're looking at, but certainly this is a sector that has been shattered almost overnight.
Premier Ford has taken a lot of criticism for suggesting earlier this week that Canada does not have the same deep roots of systemic racism as the U.S. Today, he said maybe he didn't express himself properly as he announced $1.5 million for a new anti-racism council on equality of opportunity, a youth council. It's going to be headed up by a man named Jamil Javani. We've interviewed him before on City News. He overcame a difficult youth, went to Yale, became a lawyer, an author, and community organizer. He talked about the pain he's seeing over the past week in the U.S. and here. And I asked him to describe how he sees the relationship between the Black community and police.
I think the term distrust is a great way to frame the state of the relationship, because I think that there is distrust in the community, and rightfully so, because there's just a lengthy history of police being overly present in the lives of Black people when it comes to stopping and questioning Black people, when it comes to incidents of use of force, whether they're excessive or justifiable. You know, it over time, I think, has grown into a really deep and genuine concern that a lot of Black people all over North America, but including in Ontario, have about police officers. Certainly, I would say, even from personal experience, I grew up with feeling a lot of tension between myself and cops, and it made for quite a lot of discomfort. And I think it is a defeating experience in some ways too, because it makes you feel less part of your society and less welcomed here.
The Liberals, however, say all Premier Ford is doing with this new youth council is replacing the one he cut 2 years ago. The NDP called the announcement paltry, saying Black communities in Ontario are calling for systemic change.